April 6, 2018, Wadsworth, Ohio. This is every parent's worst nightmare, finding out their child is involved in an unimaginable crime. These moments raise deep questions about the responsibility of raising and guiding a child. Images and videos on Gavin Ramsey's phone reveal the horrifying acts he committed against Margaret Douglas. A tragic story begins to unfold. 17-year-old Gavin Ramsey is described as a troubled teen, prone to causing trouble. However, his actions on that fateful night went far beyond anyone's imagination. A gruesome crime against a 98-year-old woman in her own home. Gavin broke into Margaret's home, secretly filmed her while she slept, and then committed horrific acts after taking her life. Ultimately, he hid her body in a closet, a scene that would haunt anyone who discovered it. Margaret's body was discovered by her nephew, Howard Leisure, while he was searching for her favorite pair of shoes. This discovery was not just a family tragedy, but a shock to the entire community. On April 13th, Gavin was brought in for questioning regarding some disturbances in the area. At this point, he wasn't the primary suspect, but detectives were starting to connect the dots. The police began with casual questions to create a relaxed atmosphere. But tension in Gavin's words and demeanor gradually became apparent.
Really? Oh, God. I'll take it. Let me turn my ringer down. I was trying to reach his dad, but he's at work and he's not on the answer his phone.
Your mom, right?
Yes, I'm Chris.
Chris, I'm Dawn.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
You're not under arrest. You can leave at any time. You just have to understand that. I know I closed the door just because there was a officer down the hall, so don't think you're under arrest or being detained at all. You can get up and go at any point in time.
All right.
Okay. We've had a lot of goings on in your neighborhood lately.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, and probably more than...
Incidents in the neighborhood, including a carjacking, started to connect. Detectives asked probing questions to determine Gavin's involvement.
Unfortunately, we're trying to see if, they're all related.
Right.
Gavin, does your mom know why you're here?
I think yeah.
He said he climbed on top of the church.
Yeah.
So there's got to be more to that story because I wouldn't be going down here and picking up the pool if that's what he did.
Yeah. So we already talked to the other half of this. Okay. And you just want to tell us what you guys were doing and what was happening that night? You're 17, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we snuck out. Well, I snuck out. He's 18. So we were just walking around. He didn't even drive. Like, he just walked.
Oh, he walked from his house in Euclid?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
And then we met up at Derling, and we weren't really doing anything. Then we went over to the church and climbed on top.
Okay.
And then we went, into the courtyard, but that's all we did.
Now, you did more. Unfortunately, you guys have left behind some very telling items. Okay. If we're going to get to the bottom of this, let's just make it the truth all at once. Let's deal with it and get it done.
You're 17.
Yeah. You're a kid, so you're not looking at as much trouble as
And you get sponge in the future.
traded. Yeah.
I turn 18, it's over.
What did you do with the trailer?
I poked my knife behind, the little steam in it, and popped it out.
Okay. Why were you guys going to go in there?
I don't know, we honestly had nothing to do. And me and Braden together, we know it's not good, but I don't know, we're good trying to do this thing out. My mom said it a lot. Me and Braden are toxic together, I guess. We always just get in trouble, but...
We don't allow him to hang out with him anymore for months. So he's not.
What roof was it that you guys were getting on top of?
Half-truths and conflicting details emerged as Gavin recounted the events of that night. He tried to downplay the severity, but the investigators weren't easily fooled.
Like beside Darling, not First Christian.
Sacred Heart?
Yeah.
The big Catholic church, the first building?
No, we weren't. Now in the school.
Okay, now
It was school. All right. If you come out of Darling parking lot, there's that road that goes down like to the other church, I guess, with the really big parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the school, but it has like you can't skateboard, scooter, bike.
Yeah, that's Sacred Heart, actually church, right?
Yeah.
They have the church and the school. And
There's a
they're
lot of remote buildings over there.
And it's like I forget what it was called. It's right on the corner of Boyer and the other street.
Okay.
But it was on that roof.
Okay. And that set the alarm off. Did you guys hear it?
Yeah, I didn't even know what was going off because we were by the windows and they were already cracked open. And like we were just messing with them. Like they were honestly cracked open. I'm not lying anymore.
The window on the school?
No, on the church.
On the church. Okay.
And we were messing with it and then Braden's like, dude, the alarm. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I heard it, so we left and we ran over there. Then that's when we saw the trailer.
So you guys set off the alarm and then you messed with the trailer?
Questions about sneaking around near the church and school put Gavin in an increasingly uncomfortable position. His vague and repetitive answers exposed his
Were you guys
unease.
going to hide in the trailer?
No,
You just weren't getting straight enough to go home after you set the alarm off?
yeah, I guess.
You didn't get into it, obviously.
Hmm.
And then you guys ended up seeing the police and took
Yeah, we
off.
saw, I don't even know who it was. It was a cop. Well, I'm pretty sure it was a cop because it looked like he had his belt on, but like down by the church walking, so then we took off.
Where'd you guys go?
Up Ward Street, and then I went home, and then he went home.
So you snuck back in the house there right after that?
Yeah.
And just so you know, we did stop him, I'm sure. He said he told you that.
Yeah, he did.
He texted you that and let you know that he got stopped. Did you know he left his phone?
Yeah, he told me.
Yeah. And your green lighter?
He got stopped on the way home.
Good. Yeah. You guys do anything else in the area?
No, he told me you were talking about like car thefts and stuff, but that's not anything I'm involved in.
Okay. You talked to him already?
Yeah, he texted me, like he's got a computer and everything.
Okay. Good grief.
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know.
So you guys didn't go into any cars? You know what? It would make me feel a lot better now if it was just the two of you that went into the cars.
Yeah.
You know, because of the other issue in the area. I'm
I
sure.
didn't even know there was a car issue there.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You guys didn't. Now would be the time to tell, okay? Because we processed the cars, we did fingerprints and DNA. He's been in trouble. I would assume you were with him at Central Intermediate
Yes.
School.
Yeah.
Yes.
So your DNA is on file as well. So that's all going to come up. If it's you guys, for goodness sake, it's just rummaging through cars and nothing was even taken that they could tell. So it's probably change that was taken.
Private property cars.
Yeah.
Your driveways.
In people's driveways, yeah.
Gavin, if you...
Okay, we opened car doors, we didn't take anything. But
Do you remember where this was at and what night this was?
no,
Same night?
yeah, it was last night that we did it. It was I don't know what street it is. If you go up like 94 and turn right after CVS, like take a right, and it comes down past like Lincoln School.
Platinum? It's right here?
Yeah, that one. We were walking through there.
Okay. You guys didn't take anything? Did you rummage through glove boxes or anything? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't take not even change or anything?
Maybe like 50 cents, but other than that, seriously nothing.
Okay. How about over closer to your house? Portage, Elm, Summit?
And we went up towards like Elm and stuff beforehand because the church was the last thing, I guess, before we went home. So, like, yeah, we were walking up past that road, and then we walked up past like Portage and Elm and everything up by the Oak.
How about earlier in the week? We had some cars entered into earlier in the week. That's why I'm asking.
No,
No.
everything we did was last night.
Okay.
Because again, they have their DNA.
Is there going to be anything else that we hear that we relate you guys back to?
When was the last night that you two met up?
Last night?
Previous to that?
I'm guessing this isn't the first time yet.
Well, no, like we've snuck out in the past before, but since I've got in trouble, this most recent one, like without the law, I haven't really snuck out at all.
When was this recent time that he got in trouble on?
He has not had any freedom at all. I mean, he literally goes to work and home probably 3 months because he makes bad choices, and we don't want that for our kids. So he literally has no life. And he's snuck out before. I just recently moved his bedroom downstairs close to mine with his younger brother, because they tend to tattle, so that I could keep, it's terrible that I did it. And it still isn't doing enough, because Morton probably was sound asleep. It's been a few months since he's had any freedom.
Gavin, we've had some really serious things happen in your neighborhood and in that area, okay? We had a carjacking,
Oh my God.
and the suspect is a young white male with a nice complexion and blue eyes. Is that you?
No, it's not me. I wouldn't know the first thing about jacking a car.
Well, it's a little more to the story, but, you didn't take anybody's car?
No.
Have you ever used an app called Grindr?
No,
How do you feel about gay people?
I'm not gay.
Oh, well, that's okay, but they don't bother you?
No, nobody bothers me.
Okay. Some of the victims of these crimes are gay, and I didn't know if it was
A hate crime kind of thing.
right. They're being victimized only because of their sexual orientation. So,
The detectives shifted their focus to Margaret Douglas's murder. When confronted with details of her death, Gavin appeared shocked, but his emotional display raised suspicion.
there was time.
Oh my God, that was horrifying. That was horrifying. It is horrifying.
Did you know her at all?
No, other than just to see her out, like on a porch, that actually makes me want to cry. Like, how do you get to be 98 years old? Nobody lives to be 98. It's so rare. And someone else thought that that was okay. Like, how did that?
When directly asked about his involvement in the case, Gavin denied it. However, his tone and body language betrayed the fear he struggled to hide.
Probably 5 or 6 people.
That you talked to? Is that what you're saying?
The tension builds as Gavin attempts to explain himself but falters. His vague and incomplete statements only add to the suspicion, leaving viewers to wonder what he's
I'm
hiding.
going to make you upset, but I just don't understand what you're saying. What about 5 or 6 people?
Never mind. It's not anything illegal. So.
The detective asks Gavin directly if there's more he needs to share. The room falls into an uncomfortable silence, and Gavin's demeanor becomes visibly unsettled.
What's upsetting you so much?
Nothing.
The detective shifts tone, offering a softer approach by relating to Gavin as a parent. This moment feels calculated, aimed at breaking down Gavin's emotional defenses.
All the way down to 10, so I'm pretty good with this stuff.
The conversation becomes more intense as the detective pushes Gavin to be honest. His evasive answers and frustrated tone suggest inner conflict, a struggle between admitting the truth and holding back.
Situation. Did somebody put you in a bad situation?
No.
No.
Yeah, let's look at it this way. Honesty is always what's best.
I'm not holding anything back. Like,
You've already gotten yourself in trouble, so.
I know, and I don't even...
What happens in the dark comes to light. This powerful statement from the detective cuts through the tension, emphasizing the inevitability of consequences. Gavin's response, or lack thereof, speaks volumes.
What if I always told you kids, what happens in the dark comes out in the light? That's the way it works. You mess up, you get caught. You make bad choices, you're going to pay for it. So if there's something else, let's get it all out on the table so that we know what we're dealing with.
It's not anything else. It's...
Gavin breaks down, expressing anger and frustration with himself. He reveals a deeper emotional struggle, admitting feelings of failure and hopelessness, a raw and telling moment in the interrogation.
You're so mad at yourself for.
I was 16 there, he had a fucking felony and like 5 misdemeanors, and now I'm gonna be in more trouble. I have to go back to court, and I'm done with it. I'm so done with it.
That's fair enough.
And
Like, honestly, I don't even want to live at home anymore. I don't know, I'm not...
His self-loathing intensifies as Gavin describes feeling like a burden to his family. His words convey not only guilt, but also a yearning for escape from his own actions and their impact.
What is so wrong about living at home?
No, there's nothing that they do. It's me. Like, everything I'm putting them through, I'm costing them thousands of dollars. Constant heartbreak. I've honestly probably never made either of them proud. I don't do anything fucking good.
stop cussing.
It's a word.
Well, it's disrespectful.
The detective interrupts Gavin's spiral of self-hatred, redirecting the conversation. The change in focus feels deliberate, aiming to regain control of the interrogation and keep Gavin talking.
Here.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody
That
makes
you asked me
mistakes.
what was upsetting me.
Well, and we need to know that. But we're talking about stuff. We're talking about kids making bad decisions.
As Gavin downplays his actions, the detective subtly challenges him, pointing out the seriousness of his decisions. Gavin's attempt to minimize his involvement contrasts sharply with the gravity of the situation.
Here, but as soon as I go to court, that's another felony or something, because I don't know, why wouldn't it be? You're making it sound like it's no big deal right now. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you or my mom. I'm just saying, like, right now you're making it seem like, oh, you just went, you know.
To us, there's more serious things out there.
Yeah, I know, but then I go to court and it's completely different. Like last time, the cop told me, oh, like, whenever I got the felony, like, yeah, it'll be, you know,
The detective highlights Gavin's pattern of poor choices, emphasizing the need for accountability. This moment underscores a recurring theme: Gavin's inability to face the consequences of his actions.
But I told you when we started, this stuff will be expunged when you turn 18.
it can go away to the point. I don't care about what's on my record. Okay, like, I do, but right now, like, I know I'm gonna have to deal with it more for the next 9 months. That is what makes me mad.
You're the only person that can change those
I know.
decisions, okay? And I had this same conversation with...
The only person who can change this is you. The detective's direct statement reflects both frustration and an attempt to give Gavin a sense of control over his future. Gavin's quiet acknowledgement shows a flicker of understanding.
And it wouldn't remedy the situation. You've got to make the right choices. You sound like you have a good head on your shoulders, and you definitely know what's right and what's wrong. I'm guessing that you're employed somewhere by the look of your boots.
Memories.
Okay.
It's just a carpentry school.
Okay. So you're learning a trade, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
You have aspirations of not working at Marie's all your life?
Yeah.
Okay. Marie's is probably not the best choice of place.
Yeah, I
For you to work,
know.
right?
He says it's terrible. And the things they go on are terrible.
The interrogation circles back to specific incidents, including car break-ins. Gavin's demeanor shifts slightly, suggesting nervousness as the detective pushes for clarity.
That's his first job.
Gavin, this is all there is. There's nothing else. I'm asking, I'm not joking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
The mention of surveillance video unsettles Gavin as he realizes the evidence against him is mounting. His hesitation becomes more apparent, revealing cracks in his composure.
That was, by the Overlook Administration Building, you were not in that parking lot at all in the middle of the night. I have a friend that I went to the academy with that works for NASA, so sometimes they'll do favors for me.
Right.
Yeah, and so we send the video up there to get it cleaned up and when we get it back. And I'm being straightforward, okay?
You're right.
That's the way I am. And I told Braden that, I would prefer he just tell me if he was involved. And that would make things a lot better for him.
Right.
And the fact that there's video.
When the detective directly questions Gavin about his involvement in a carjacking, his denial feels rehearsed. The tension in the room becomes palpable as the stakes of the interrogation rise.
Well, before this.
But did you get any cars on board,
Yeah,
Okay.
but we didn't take anything from those cars.
Okay. Was that just last night?
Yeah.
You didn't do it last week? Or last weekend anytime? Portage and I know boys. Yeah. He was outside. I'm sure he'd be doing the old man thing.
Taking the shoe off.
Is there anything else is there anything that you have that we can give back?
I don't know what that means.
Did you take any sunglasses or anything stupid like that? No? No. Just change. What'd you do with all the 50 cents you...
Nothing. I think I dropped it whenever we were leaving the church.
Were these cars all unlocked, or they didn't break?
No, they were all unlocked.
So would you just walk through the neighborhood trying people's cars? What'd you do if somebody did that to my car? That's so upsetting and scary.
I understand that, but it's really their own fault for not locking.
No, I lock mine all the time.
We lock yours every time.
It's not the point. It's not yours.
Okay, so none of this transpired at the end of last week. I'm not gonna find your DNA or fingerprints from last week.
Did you sneak out last week?
No.
The conversation returns to the car break-ins, with Gavin admitting to rummaging through vehicles but denying theft. The detective's probing questions expose inconsistencies, keeping viewers on edge.
It's in our general area. We walked around.
If things weren't taken, how would people know? If someone just went in a car,
They were rummaged through their,
okay,
glove compartments, center console, stuff like that.
okay. I have to make sure there's not something else that I should know. Because, how would they know?
Well, this suspicious death.
The detective brings up the murder of the elderly woman. Gavin's visible discomfort and nervous laughter suggest he's struggling to maintain his facade of innocence.
You this little bit, I can't imagine that's in your wheelhouse.
No.
But, if we would come to find out that you're not being honest about something that, puts you back on the list of people to take a look at,
Right.
So it's a serious situation, that's why I want to make sure.
Oh my God.
Generally, detectives don't get involved in.
We knew when we saw that BCI because it was literally facing my office window and it was blinding in a house. And I was like, at first I was like, that looks like a trash truck, but that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that gets called in, and then I get all scared. I'm like, oh my God, I have all my porch lights on out at night. I have stranger danger issues.
Neighbors' observations of unusual behavior in the area add another layer of intrigue. The detective's line of questioning connects Gavin to the broader context of the case, leaving viewers to wonder about his true involvement.
I mean, there's just nothing ever, except for there's a house up the road, like headed toward Oak. I guess there's always cops up there, but that's it. There's just nothing. It's so quiet.
You haven't noticed any strange vehicles or?
No, but the day that all unfolded, we didn't even know what was going on. We have 2 dogs, a very small one, and she was in the kitchen with me, and she just kept looking out the back door and growling, and she never does that. And I got like goosebumpy. I thought, that's just so unlike her, and I kept looking out because like the neighbor girl has a old, they built like a little, it's not even a tree house, it's all on the ground. I kept thinking, God, what if there's somebody in there? It just kind of freaked me out. I just kept, because it's all wooded back there.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the only thing that was off, was that whole day.
And that was Friday?
Yeah, it was the first day before anybody even knew what was going on. So, how many days?
I think we were out Sunday night into Monday, or, geez, I've been up for so long.
I bet. It must have been
Monday night into Tuesday.
Yeah, it was just odd. Just odd. But that
Was it dark out yet?
No, it was daylight.
We were out traipsing around the backyard.
Maybe she heard you. So maybe she heard you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think we all watch fairly well. There's a few of us that are home more.
Mm-hmm.
So if something's unusual, we would call.
Right.
But nothing.
That's part of what we're in the process of doing. I called back here, so we're canvassing the neighborhood
Right.
and talking to everybody.
Right.
Any know-it-alls in the neighborhood that I should be sure I see?
I'll tell you what, I'm not joking. Directly across from me, okay, I live at 135. It's directly across, it's the corner of Portage and Summit, and then the house right next to it would be Mike and Lynn. They've been in the neighborhood for 100 years. They know everything. Like, they know everything. Everything. And they're always out walking their dog. So yeah, they'd be good ones to talk to if you have not.
Mike and Lynn, do you know their last name?
Do you know Mike's last name? No, they're probably 10 years, probably in their late 50s, I would guess. They just...
There's either 2 cars you'll see there. It's one of them's like a violet Chevy Malibu or something. The other one's a red truck with a cap on it.
Yeah, and a lot of times he parks in front of our house, so those are both on there. But yeah, they seem to know a lot, and they're so nice. But that's probably it. Yeah, and then Eric lives on the corner, but he's an EMT, so he would clearly know to call someone.
Yeah, he stopped out with us and offered us his restroom and
Yeah,
we needed.
yeah, he's been a help for us over the years with all the stitches, and I'm like, go get Eric, go get Eric, he'll get there quick. Yeah.
So while you guys were out and about, did you see anybody else out traipsing around?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, it wasn't you guys earlier in the week?
No.
The detective opens with a gentle reminder. If the truth comes out later, Gavin will face more severe consequences. This psychological tactic aims to encourage Gavin to reveal everything now.
If there's anything else, you would just open it like that too. Usually once Gavin gets going, that's how it was last time. Unless he just...
The conversation shifts to DNA evidence and the long processing time involved. Emphasizing this adds pressure, pushing Gavin to consider the risks of hiding anything.
And they're in cars even though we knew
Right.
the truth of it.
Right.
It all fits together.
Right. And again, you have that DNA. And
Yeah.
that's why they did that when they both got in trouble.
Yeah.
Now you're on record.
Well, and unfortunately DNA is not quick.
The detective continues with sincere advice, explaining that immediate confession could help reduce his punishment. The atmosphere becomes increasingly tense as Gavin hesitates.
It takes 6 months. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was that long. I had
Because they
no
prioritize,
idea.
you know, if you've got rapes and murders and stuff like that, they're gonna do all that stuff first and pick up an extra one here and there when they can. So that's why I try to explain to him, let's just get this all on the table now.
Right.
Brayden, if there's something else, just do it now because I don't want to come revisit you in 6 months. If you handle a case all at once, it's done.
Right.
But if you get in
Exactly.
trouble and then 6 months later something else surfaces, you get hit even harder.
Right.
So,
So is this going to be breaking and entering again into vehicles?
well,
Because the prosecutor is pretty tough.
it's not breaking and entering because it's not a home or a building.
Okay.
It would probably, and juvenile crime is different than adult.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's what they call status offenses, you know, just
Okay.
things like smoking and curfew that an adult can't get in trouble for, and then, you know, so they don't know what they would decide to charge.
Okay. That's automatically a curfew right there.
I
Yeah.
didn't get caught after they're filming.
But you're telling what you've done, so it's an assumption, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it,
You know?
I
I don't
don't,
think we're too worried about the curfew.
yeah,
I don't think we're too worried about the car break-ins, but
yeah,
That
wanna stop?
carjacking.
Yeah.
yeah. Gosh. So, you know, and in most circumstances, you know, when you hear carjacking, you think somebody stuck a gun in somebody's face.
That's how
That's not this circumstance.
okay.
It's, you know,
Okay.
it's more of a trickery kind of thing. So, you know,
Okay.
let me ask, is there anybody else she should talk to about that maybe you heard something at school about?
Honestly, can you two actually leave for a second?
What's that?
Can you two actually leave? So I can talk to her.
Yeah.
okay.
Sure.
Gavin suddenly admits involvement in the carjacking. He explains his actions with a tone of both justification and self-reproach, creating a mix of surprise and tension for viewers.
That grinder thing, yeah, I have been on it. And this guy was like the first time that this happened, and I told him like I was 17 and everything, and I wasn't planning on doing anything with him. It's not my style. I was just like a 40-year-old man trying to get with a 17-year-old, so I was just gonna rob him. It's still messed up, but against what he's doing, I really think it is. And then the whole carjacking thing,
Gavin recounts in detail how he took the victim's car. While attempting to downplay his actions, his description reveals deliberate intent and calculated behavior.
I sit and locked the doors and hopped in the driver's seat and just drove around and messed with him, and then I left.
So then you got out and left.
Yeah, I didn't damage the car. I didn't.
Well, we knew it was there, you know, when he finally went somewhere to get a phone, and we knew there was something more to the story that he wasn't telling us.
Yeah, I didn't damage any of his stuff. I just
Do you have his wallet?
no, that's because I kept asking him. Like I cracked the window of the car, like 'cause he walked up, doors were locked, and everything. I'm like, "Where's your wallet?" And he's like, "I don't have it." So then, I opened his glove box and all that. And I'm like, "Well, show me your pockets." And he's like, "I don't have it, but can I have my phone?" I'm like, "No." And then I turned and he tried to grab the window and break it. And then I gassed it and he walked, and that's when he left Overlook. And then I went up to where the dumpsters are, you know where that white van is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's where I left the car, and I just went out. And then the only reason I knew what he was saying is because I heard sirens and stuff. I'm like, that guy's not just gonna leave. Like, why would you leave your car and phone and everything? And then I downloaded the 5.0 radio and I was listening. And he said the kid was trying to get a ride to Elm Street, and
Gavin reveals his true motive for using the app: to teach a lesson to individuals engaging in inappropriate behavior. However, his explanations fail to reduce the gravity of his actions.
Much like you didn't want to say that he was there to meet up with somebody, you told him your age.
Yeah, I told him I was 17.
What does your app say on Grindr?
I think this is like 18 or 19, but I told him.
Okay.
I don't even have the app anymore. I deleted it after that night. I didn't want to say that in front of my mom.
Are you gay?
No, that's not it. Like, I didn't have any plans to do anything sexual. It was just for him being that crappy of a person that...
He insists he had no intention of engaging in any sexual activity and only wanted to punish those targeting minors. The contrast between Gavin's words and actions raises questions about his true motives.
You can't pull that back up.
No, that's deleted. I think I blocked the guy too, so that, like, deletes him completely, like, out of... I can't search him up or anything. And I deleted the app, so that's all the information with it.
Do you have his phone? His phone's missing.
No, I didn't take it.
You didn't take his phone?
No. I threw it out the window when we were at Overlook because, I don't know, that's...
Pissed off?
Yeah, that's really why. So I threw it out the window.
Does he know that you threw it out the window?
No, because he was already gone.
Okay.
Well, because, like, I pulled up and I was, like, by the white van kind of, and that's where I threw it. When I looked in the mirror, it's like I was looking for him because I didn't know where he went. And I was sitting there, like, turned around because I felt like he was going to come up behind me or something and try and get in again. And I was looking, I didn't see him. I threw his phone, and then I drove up a little bit more past the dumpsters, got out and left.
Why were you on that app?
Really just for that reason, to find guys that are that low of people, I guess.
That want to get with kids?
Mm-hmm. Like, it's karma, really. Like, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to rob you.
And you told him how?
I was 17.
You told him you were 17?
When asked about the victim's reaction, Gavin continues to deny any physical contact, trying to maintain consistency in his story.
Decided I was just going to take his money and leave.
Did he touch you at all? Did you touch him at all?
No.
Now, where were you at in the car?
I got into the front seat, like the front passenger, and then, like, whenever, I didn't even have the door really closed yet, like, my foot was still out, just precautions, I guess, I needed to run. And he was like, should you go in the back seat to do this? And I'm like, yeah. And then he got out, and I pulled my door closed after he shut his, and I locked it, and then he was locked out of the car. And then I jumped over the driver's seat and, like, cracked the window a little bit and waited to see, like, his reaction. And then I just, like, kept gassing a little bit and going, 2 feet forward. I don't know.
What was he thinking was going to happen?
I mean...
Was there an act that you guys agreed upon?
Not really, no. Just, like, NSA. I didn't even know what that meant, but it means no strings attached.
Okay.
And that's what...
You guys didn't talk about what kind of sex you were going to have, or...
No, I didn't. I don't know, it's not something I'm interested in. Just the act of him getting the payback, I guess, I don't know, that's what, like, made me even get the app and do all that. Not because of emotions or, like, feelings towards other men.
I don't care who you prefer to go with. It doesn't bother me, not one.
Yeah,
Okay?
I don't care about
It's not my thing.
what people like or what they
So,
look like.
who's the other guy that came up then? Is that Braden?
What other guy that came up?
There's another guy in the video that walks up to the car after the fact. Nobody
No,
else
Braden.
came up and met you?
No, Braden was not involved in that.
Okay. And nobody else came up and walked up to the car?
No.
Because, quite a while later, somebody else walks up to the car. So that's why I'm asking. I haven't gotten to see the video because it's with my buddy at NAS. That's for enhancement. So, but he says there's somebody else, and maybe it's this guy outside the car while you're messing with him.
Wait, was it, do you know if it was after, like, I left?
It was my understanding that it was after he left, the older guy. But like I said, I haven't seen the video myself. It's there for enhancement, so.
Alright, yeah, I honestly don't know about that.
Nobody else came up to meet you or anything like that?
After I noticed he was gone, I'm like, the cops are definitely going to show up. If he really just left without his car and something, he probably went to somebody's doorstep or something, trying to use the phone. So that's when I got out, and I just went home.
When directly asked about the elderly woman's death, Gavin responds briefly but tensely, denying any involvement. This moment becomes a critical climax as all eyes turn to Gavin.
What were you pissed about?
Because there's actually people that do the video killing the girl. And that's, like, I just said some dark stuff and everything. And, like, I don't know, people know.
Gavin admits he's perceived as a dark person, which has led others to suspect him in the case. His words inadvertently add to the suspicion surrounding him.
I really feel like you did. I'm like, no, I didn't.
Some people are saying it?
Yeah, and it's making me really mad. It really is.
Did you know her?
No, her neighbor, the old couple, I used to do like yard work and stuff for him, and I think I tried to for her one time, but she said she had like nephews and grandsons that come over to do it for her.
Have you ever been in her house?
No, as far as I've been, it was on her front porch, because I knocked on her door.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that was years ago. I was probably like 14.
Okay.
Yeah, that was before I could actually go get a job. So I could have money.
The detective stresses that any DNA evidence found in the victim's home would completely change the narrative. Gavin immediately denies ever being inside the house, but his anxiety is evident.
But, I mean, you name it. We robbed it, we took it. I'm sure you know we were there all night.
Yeah.
The police emphasize the thoroughness of their investigation. Gavin doesn't argue, but his demeanor reveals clear unease and instability.
Do you know anybody that would do something like that?
Gavin mentions a coworker named Hugh, describing him as the only person crazy enough to do something like that. However, he quickly backtracks, suggesting Hugh might be more talk than action.
I feel like he's more bark than he is bite, because, like, when I first got hired at Marie's, people were like, don't mess with Hugh and everything. And I mean, that's the first thing that I
Is that
did.
his real name?
Yeah, Hugh Young, I'm pretty sure. And
Where do you live?
I don't even know. I found his Facebook the other day.
Does it say Hugh Young?
Gavin provides vague details about Hugh, expressing doubt that he's involved in the case, but planting enough seeds of doubt to leave viewers questioning the sincerity of his statements.
I know everybody told me, like, oh, don't mess with him, don't talk to him, he's crazy.
Would he know? Margaret's her name.
I don't think so. I'm not saying, like, he has anything to do with it, but that's the only person that I could even think of that's crazy enough to.
When asked about the appropriate punishment for a killer, Gavin responds bluntly, stating, "An eye for an eye is the best approach." His strong opinion draws attention, raising questions about his deeper thoughts on justice.
Right or not?
And your DNA is already on file? I mean, if it makes you feel better, I will give them your name.
The investigator suggests a DNA test to rule Gavin out as a suspect. Gavin seems to agree but expresses anger about being accused by so many people, revealing his frustration.
Like the lady?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that doesn't bother me.
Well, I think it bothers you that people are accusing you of it.
Yeah, it does, but I don't know. Like, people are still gonna say it. Just
Gavin admits that being accused makes him angry, especially in the days following the incident. While he tries to maintain composure, his mixed emotions of anger and unease are evident.
so, I mean, you can if you want. It doesn't really matter to me.
Well, I think if we get a profile that doesn't match up to anything we've submitted, that they run it through the computer system, and the computer system runs it against all of that they've collected from people who've been in trouble in the past. So that's how it usually works. So it would probably get passed over anyway. So, but if you think of somebody else, or if you see something in that area, please call right away.
I will.
Okay? I mean, it's something that's horrible that just doesn't happen here, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's,
The investigator suggests the possibility of a friend unintentionally causing the situation. Gavin shifts suspicion to the victim's family members or a local drug addict, adding a layer of chaos and doubt.
She thinks two things it could be is like a grandson, nephew, like, because my brother's friend, his dad works for some county, and he was saying that like her entire family was like in a will and they were all getting like money and stuff. So he was saying like one of the grandkids or nephews, or I don't even know who's in the family, but they could have done that to get money, or just some junkie in Wadsworth, which that would not surprise me.
yeah.
Just going to break into a house to get some money or something they could pawn.
When asked why his mother might be worried, Gavin jokingly remarks that she probably thinks he's confessing to a murder. This casual remark only deepens the unsettling tone of the conversation.
She's going to have to know.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, before that, do you think that will go to anything?
We're going to have to go back and question him again. Okay?
Alright.
He did not touch you? Did he ask you for any pictures?
He did, but send
He
money.
didn't send him any, but he asked you what did he ask you pictures of?
My body and
The interrogation shifts to the carjacking. Gavin admits to using a dating app to lure a man, recounting his actions with a mix of justification and self-criticism, making the story increasingly complex.
like different kinds, like body pics, different kinds of pics. So I told him, no, I'm not
Not
sending.
sending any. Do you have a username or anything that was associated with your account?
No, I don't even think I had one. I think it just showed my age, like on the screen.
What did you have to use to set the account up? Like a email address?
Yeah, I used like a fake email. I don't remember what it even was, but it's literally, you do an email, a password, and then you do like your age and like phone number if you want, and then that's really it. And then like the security, you type in the letters or whatever.
Do you think you can remember what that fake email was?
Gavin is asked to recall the email he used to create his app account. He denies being able to remember, claiming he's created too many accounts. This response raises further suspicion about his intentions.
Remember that if I hadn't made like 1,000 different emails for like YouTube and
Right.
so. No, I really don't remember what that email was.
If you remember at some point in time, just let me know. Should we let Mom back in?
Yeah.
Are you going to talk to her or you want me to?
Sorry, I got a little chocolate on me.
Yeah, you want to chip with me for real?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want me to talk to her or are you going to talk to her?
I'm gonna be better.
Well, we talked a little bit about the carjacking situation.
It's not.
It's not what you think.
No.
It's not a gun in the face and I'm going to steal your car. There's an app called Grindr that people use for hookups. And
I wasn't hooking up with the guy. I planned on robbing him because he was trying to meet up with a 17-year-old. Like, I didn't go on the site looking for, like, sex or anything. Like, I'm not gay. I went on there, honestly, like a catfish kind of thing.
I don't even know what that means.
that means he made a profile that said he's 18 or 19, and they start chatting on the app, and he says, I'm underage, I'm only 17, and the guy says, I don't care, let's meet up anyway and hook up.
I don't know.
Gavin details how he tricked the victim into leaving the car and took control of the vehicle. He downplays his actions, framing them as a way to punish someone who had bad intentions.
They decided they'd go in the back seat, and it's my understanding you're small enough that you jump through the seats, is that right?
Well, no, I was in the front seat, like, all right, well, like, you want to go to the back seat or whatever. Well, he said that, and then when he got out of the car, I closed the front passenger door and he closed his, and then I locked the doors and he was locked out, and I got in his car, or I got in the driver's seat, and I cracked the window, and he was, you know, like, kind of blah, 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 outside of my car. I'm like, no, you just tried to hook up with a child. Like, I'm still a minor. And then, like, I never even left Overlook parking lot with his car. I literally went up, turned around, and then, like, messed with him a little bit. Like, I would go up to him, and then I'd gas it a little bit, and then I turned around, and he came up to the door, and I'm like, where's your wallet? He's like, can I have my phone? I'm like, no, but where's your wallet? I'll give you your phone if you give me your wallet. So I was going to take his money. He said he didn't have it. And then, like, I looked away for a second. He, like, grabbed the window and tried to, like, break it. And then I took off and, like, parked up by the dumpsters. And he was gone when I looked back. So then I got up and I left.
Who else was with them?
It was just us two.
You and
That guy. Yeah.
Braden?
No, Braden was never involved.
Who's the other guy?
He says there was nobody else there, and I haven't been able to view the revision of the video, so I don't know.
Yeah.
What did he say? There was two people there?
When you initially looked at before, like I said, I'm sending it to have it enhanced.
Right.
It looks like there's another person that shows up later, but
No, I don't know who that is.
Okay.
The investigator confronts Gavin about surveillance video suggesting a second person was present. Gavin firmly denies this, increasing the tension as his account conflicts with potential evidence.
That's a scary charge.
well, it's kind of a convoluted situation. If we've got an adult male that's soliciting a child, unfortunately, he deleted the app and blocked that man, and he doesn't remember his email associated with that, so it's going to be hard for us to pull up the records to verify that portion of it, which is, you know,
Okay.
so. I told him that if he can remember what email address he used, he says he's always creating new emails to log into YouTube and stupid stuff like that, so if he could remember what email address he used, that's usually what companies like that require
Okay.
to be able to locate, if they even have the information stored. You can imagine how much
Right.
information runs through there.
Right. Why would you even hear about an app like that? Why would you even do that?
I don't know. Like I said, Mom, I don't know why I do anything that I do.
That sounds all vigilante crazy to me. That's what that sounds like. So that will get forwarded also, and then God only knows what that charge is going to look like.
I've been doing this a long time, and I don't know what will happen with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you'll see charges out of it, if that man will see charges out of it. I don't know.
Right.
I'm
assuming he called the police to report that.
Yeah.
Which was really crazy considering.
Well, no, because after that I downloaded 5 Radio. Because when he left, I'm like, why would he just leave without a car?
That was really steep on his part as well because he was literally there with a minor.
Well, no, but what he said to the cops is what I overheard, like on the radio, is I heard somebody saying it like back over to tell him what the guy said, and he said a teenage male was in like distress and was asking for a ride to Elm Street.
Oh,
And then, like, whenever he said, I don't even remember what he said after that.
He wasn't truthful with his story.
okay,
And we knew that there was more to it.
right.
But and we discussed the elderly woman again, and he says, there's no way.
I would really almost lay my life down.
When asked again about the elderly woman's murder, Gavin denies any involvement. However, his tone and demeanor suggest a mix of anxiety and defensiveness that's hard to ignore.
That probably was. They all do it.
Yep, there would be no reason for him, his DNA to be in her house at all.
No, no.
You see how all these horrible things kind of tie together?
Yeah.
And you start to get pretty worried about what's happening, especially with the escalation of...
Yeah, but the scary thing is if he's admitting that they did all these things last night, and there's other issues like from whenever he said a week or so ago, so they're not the only ones out there doing it in our neighborhoods.
So, you know, if there's something else or somebody else that you know is out there doing stupid crap,
Yeah.
can keep it on the down low. Your name won't cross my lips.
The investigator emphasizes the importance of uncovering the truth, both for the victim's family and for the integrity of the case. Gavin listens, but offers no useful new information.
For my job here, to relieve me
Yeah.
for her family.
Exactly. Oh my God.
So if you know of anybody else that's out creeping around, and I know you told me the one guy that you thought was a little crazy, but probably not.
Cute for her reason.
Yeah.
But I doubt.
I think he's wacko.
Well, you work up there, or you work up there while we're here, what's going on, Maurice? You might as well,
Honestly, it's the family. The family are the bad ones.
Charlotte, I'm pretty sure, just got caught floating checks again. Which, like, that's why, you know, the second review that was some parties and
Yeah.
Gavin shifts the focus to a family member of the victim who had a history of financial fraud, attempting to redirect suspicion. This feels like an effort to deflect attention away from himself.
or something, but you don't actually have the money, so then you write another check to cover that.
Yeah.
You're paying with fake money.
I had somebody that, I was pregnant, Tina, I worked in a gas station.
The conversation shifts to Gavin's job and his financial obligations. Gavin's tone is relaxed, but his mention of needing work to pay off fines adds a subtle undertone of responsibility amidst his otherwise casual demeanor.
One of the owners,
Right.
because she's older.
She's Joe's daughter.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I handled case after case.
Yeah, that's what
I bet.
Yeah, I don't think Joe lets her touch like any money there anymore.
They're not, we didn't really even want him to get a job there, but he got hired and he needed a job to pay for car insurance. So, and his fines from getting out all that court stuff.
Gavin mentions a potential job at a funeral home. While his description of the job sounds morbid, he shows an unusual comfort with the topic, suggesting a possible fascination with death that aligns with his earlier self-description as morbid.
Almost a month. And they, Rossford had been family friends with my husband's family for many years. And he and Dan were talking, and Dan's like, I'll give you a job. He's like, you can wash cars, you can help with funerals, you can go with me to pick up bodies, blah, blah, blah.
You ready for that kind of stuff?
It's nasty.
He's morbid like me. I'm a morbid person. That's not my
Don't rope you into that. He can never find anybody to
I
talk
know.
with him.
That's what he said. And he got all excited. He's like, yeah, I'll hire you. So they did. And they pay well. We'd rather see him be that.
Yeah, it's 15 an hour.
Wow.
I know. I'm like, for a
Oh,
second.
only 250 now. How's your age?
And that was like 100 years ago.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, well,
Really? Oh, God.
He reflects on why he hasn't left his current job, citing practical reasons like proximity and better pay. His focus on financial stability provides a stark contrast to the impulsive actions that led to his current legal troubles.
That
that makes sense.
man does.
So,
You can always find something else besides Marie's. Meanwhile, you know, might have something you can walk to closer, or
But
Yeah,
I don't even
something.
get involved with anything bad. Marie's, I work on dish, so I stay in the pit and I do my job. And then I leave. Because I get good hours. That's the best paying job I can find at the moment besides funeral home and
And they pay you what, $10 an hour?
another 50.
Oh, okay.
I mean, other jobs are like 8:30, but still.
I know you got some bad things going on. You can get this taken care of. You're 17.
The detective gently reminds Gavin of his chance to turn his life around, emphasizing that his age offers him an opportunity for a fresh start. This moment feels like a compassionate yet strategic effort to build rapport.
There's good things out there. There's good things in town. There's like ECS Tuning's always hiring it. You ever heard that company?
My buddy just got hired.
They have all kinds of cool cars. The owners have Lamborghinis and everything else, and they have car shows, and the place looks like James Bond movie inside when you go in there, like a set. And they have glass windows.
You been doing anything to carpentry?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure yet.
But aren't you going to have that job lined up for the summer with that guy?
Yeah, but I haven't talked to him at all.
No, it's been crap weather, so.
There's lots of opportunity. You seem like a nice kid.
We
We dealt with plenty of kids that you go, all right, well, I'll talk to you later. You're not that kid, okay? Turn it around. Make good choices.
The discussion about Gavin's impulsivity and ADHD diagnoses reveals his struggle with control and decision-making. The detective uses this to emphasize the importance of making better choices moving forward.
Do that again. Like, I literally just got in trouble with her.
So you gotta hang out. Don't hang out with certain people.
Yeah, I know.
Totally cut them off.
I think you could find another friend. You seem pretty normal.
He is. You know, we've talked about this before. Dr. LaSure from Cornerstone. Okay. He's seen her on and off for years. He's been seeing her for several months. Gavin was diagnosed ADHD years ago. We tried him on, different medications, Adderall, all those. He was one of that tiny percentage of kids that has failure to thrive. He just didn't grow. And they say it does happen. So we took him off, and it's been a crapshoot. The impulsivity is horrible. And I realize that's not the same as making poor choices, but he is impulsive. But what was the trade-off? Keep him on Medicaid, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Well, you need to recognize that that is you.
I know.
Yeah.
Whenever, it's in the moment, I
Yeah.
don't think about it whatsoever.
that's
And
what it is.
every time I say that, my dad gets more mad, but I'm being honest. I don't think about it. I just do it.
Well, there's this part of your brain.
The detective explains how adolescent brains struggle with risk assessment and impulsivity. This explanation adds a layer of understanding to Gavin's behavior, while subtly pushing him to take accountability for his actions.
Right. I agree.
That's why we see boys getting in traffic crashes from speeding and showing off. That's why we see boys doing stupid, reckless things like jumping off of a roof into a pool and fracturing both their legs all the way up.
Yeah.
That's why we see boys doing stupid things.
Yep.
And there are just a handful of them that just can't grasp that. And
I know.
you're that kid.
And I'll tell you one more thing, and don't drink. Don't start drinking.
Exactly.
If you do, you'll probably get addicted just like that. Same thing with drugs. Certain personalities and certain...
Yeah.
The conversation shifts to addiction and self-medication, with the detective warning Gavin of his susceptibility. This moment adds a personal touch, showing the detective's genuine concern for Gavin's future.
Self-medicator and self, you just get addicted
Yeah.
quicker than
I know.
a normal person.
I know.
That my middle boy is that all day long.
Frustrating. Okay.
But now as an adult, he's good. He's like, you're right, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Exactly. And I think they can. They start learning that you have to learn to get around it.
I'm starting to like the older two again.
Yeah. Yeah, now I've gone through that phase. Yeah. Gavin, just when I thought I might start to like you again, buddy. Here we sit.
All right, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, we won't we're not going to come to school and drag you out kicking and screaming or anything like that. If they would, for some odd reason, issue a warrant, they don't usually with crimes that...
The detective reassures Gavin that nonviolent crimes like his are unlikely to result in harsh punishments, but emphasizes the need for compliance with court procedures. This approach reduces tension and maintains cooperation.
Everything out, and we have new juvenile prosecutors, so I'm not a good judge of what,
Okay.
how we're going to handle it, but I haven't seen that type of thing with juvenile charges.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just call you,
Okay.
okay, and let you know,
Okay.
this is what they said, you'll get letters in the mail, and we'll go from there. And I'm really going to have to do some work on the whole thing with the grinder situation and figure that out, because it's not cut and dry.
No, it's not.
And you said you already deleted the app?
The topic of the dating app is revisited, with the detective questioning Gavin's actions and the potential legal ramifications. Gavin appears defensive, repeating his justification for using the app while expressing regret.
I know it deletes me right off his account, and it deleted him off mine and everything.
Okay.
And after that, I deleted the app. And
Did you talk to anybody else through that app?
no, I mean, other people texted me through it, but I didn't really answer anybody. I barely went on it. It sat around in my phone for a week, and then I signed on, signed up and everything. And
Yeah.
that's...
We do go after underage people, not underage, we go after adults trying to get underage people, and that's something she specializes in, and I do. And we do go after adults doing that.
That's why we're kind of bombarding you.
Yeah.
We realize what you did was wrong, but there's also a flip side to it. We're just not
And there's the
sure.
right way of going after these people, and that's what we do.
Right.
And kind of like Chris Hansen,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
To catch a predator.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
The detective discusses the gray area surrounding Gavin's actions, highlighting the complexities of investigating crimes involving underage individuals and potential predators. This underscores the moral ambiguity of Gavin's behavior.
Messing around online and see if you can
Come up with something for
come
that.
up with that account.
It's only going to help you, Gavin, because at this point, like I said, it's a very gray area. And who knows how that's going to play out.
Kind of color catches, dude.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Shit.
Honestly. Oh my God.
Gavin, you mind going out with Officer Cooper and I can talk to your mom just for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just... Yeah, I think you would show the
It doesn't matter. He'll get it afterwards.
Yeah.
Gavin is asked to leave the room so the detectives can speak privately with his mother. The transition marks a shift in focus, signaling that more serious discussions and revelations may follow.
Gavin, can I get you water or something? No. I'll be right back in, okay? You sure I can't get you a drink?
As the second interview begins, the atmosphere is notably heavier. Gavin's expression and tone suggest he understands the gravity of the situation, setting the stage for deeper revelations.
I know telling me about it doesn't give you much relief.
Just to the fact that it ruined my life.
It's not gonna change it. We can't go back and change it.
No.
At this point, we just have to figure out what's going on with you, okay?
The detectives push Gavin for details about the crime scene, particularly the victim's wallet. Gavin's dismissive response contrasts with the detective's empathetic mention of the family's concerns, creating a moment of emotional tension.
Spring break, right?
I think so.
And you didn't take anything from the house. Like I said before, it doesn't make a difference either way.
I mean, what other crime can I commit that would really matter at this point?
No, the family just specifically asked me about the wallet, so that's the only reason I'm asking about that, okay? It doesn't have anything to do with the case, really. It just a little something for them.
Grandpa? Take a breather. Feel more comfortable laying down then? Do you want to take these off of you for a bit? That's up to you guys. Do you mind?
I don't mind that. I'm not worried about
A
you.
little bit more comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Can we get something off of her?
The detective's questioning becomes more pointed, directly referencing Margaret. Gavin's avoidance and lack of clarity heighten the suspense, leading viewers to question his involvement further.
Kevin, what happened to you, Margaret's underwear?
Her.
All right?
Gavin begins describing his confrontation with the victim. He admits to a struggle between them, immediately setting a tense tone. His story unfolds with vague and disjointed details, leaving room for doubt.
So did you kind of wrestle with her then?
A little bit, like off the couch.
On the floor?
Gavin confesses to strangling the victim with both hands. This admission not only confirms his direct involvement in Margaret's death, but also intensifies
So
the
when she
horror
died,
of the
she was on the couch
situation.
or on the floor?
Floor.
Were you on top of her then?
Kind of.
Like straddling her?
Yeah.
And did you use one hand or both?
Oh.
Did you squeeze it or push her against the floor or both?
When asked about signs of bleeding, Gavin seems confused, offering scattered explanations, including the possibility that he applied too much pressure when covering the victim's mouth.
When I put my hand over her mouth.
So when you were holding her hand over her mouth, you had pushed too hard and maybe made her nosebleed.
Yeah.
So were you in her house for a little while before you woke her up?
Gavin recalls breaking into the house, starting by looking through the windows. He admits feeling a rush of adrenaline as he entered, suggesting his actions were fueled by a sense of risk and thrill-seeking.
Like the biggest adrenaline rush I can get. So, and I tried the door not open. That just happened to be unlocked.
Was it the front door or back door?
The back door.
So you went into the kitchen?
Was like the TV on or something? When you went in? I don't think so. Ended up at the house security or something.
He describes the unexpected moment of seeing the victim asleep in a chair. Gavin explains how he accidentally made a noise that woke her up, leading to mutual
They
panic.
came in, like, I opened the door, I didn't listen. And then I didn't hear anything, so maybe nobody saw. And then I go to walk around that corner, and I'm still going slow, but I see her, and she's, I don't know, like sleeping or something. And then I go to turn around and hit the chair, and it made a noise, and she woke up.
And she started to scream at that point, you said?
Yeah, because like when I hit the chair, I like turned back around and I looked, and she was there staring at me and started to yell. And then went for the phone. Scared me.
Gavin admits to attempting to stop the victim from calling for help, which escalated into a struggle on the floor. His account reveals his loss of control, resulting in irreversible
I
consequences.
threw it under the couch. I'm not really sure.
You guys ended up on the floor at that point?
Yeah, I don't even know where the phone went.
When you say you guys on the floor, like her gown, the floor,
Yeah, because she was still.
wearing her underwear, I guess.
I don't even know if she was wearing underwear.
Okay.
Because when she was on the couch, like she grabbed the phone and everything, it was still like yelling. And I don't know if she died or anything yet or not, but I just didn't know what to do, and that happened. By the time I even realized what I was doing, it was too late to stop anything.
And I mean, you realize that you were on top of her with your hands on her and stuff. That's when.
He acknowledges his actions were impulsive, happening too quickly for him to stop. While he expresses shock and regret, the fragmented details of his story make it difficult to verify his sincerity.
That was on the same night. Why did I lie about anything? That was stupid.
Gavin confesses to taking photos and videos of the victim while she was still alive. This revelation highlights his calculated and disturbed mindset during the crime.
But I did, like I turned the corner, I did see her,
And you hid.
yeah, then I hid, and I was taking my phone, I was taking pictures to see if she was awake.
I got you.
And then
Then she saw you.
we stood up and she saw me.
Did your flash go off on your phone?
I don't think so.
So from there, is that did you tell us the truth about the rest of that? So how long do you think you were in the house before you woke her up?
I don't know, probably like 10, 15 minutes.
And then from the time you woke her up to the time you
Gavin claims the entire incident, from the victim waking up to being subdued, only took a few minutes.
Probably.
However, the actions he carried out during this short time resulted in devastating
she tries to get the
consequences.
phone, you try and stop her. You guys struggle to the floor, you end up on top of her with your hands on her neck. And you're pushing and squeezing. You have your hand over her mouth at the same time.
Well, my hand on her mouth was on the couch. And then, I don't know, rolled or something off the couch.
Was she like fighting back to you then, trying to struggle, and then you guys went down?
Yeah.
When asked about how he handled the body, Gavin admits to dragging the victim to a closet and hiding her there. He describes his state as shocked and confused, painting a chilling picture of his actions.
That was probably like 30 minutes. I just kind of sat there and I didn't know like what was going on. Like I was still in shock from it, I guess. And then I checked my phone and it said it was like 4 something. And I knew my mom should get up at 5:04.
So then you made the decision then? Did you look around for another place to put her, or was that just the first place you came along?
I guess it was just the first place considered like my time with it.
Was it just to hide her? So you could just be done and gone?
He continues detailing how he rearranged items in the closet to cover the body. His calm description of these actions suggests a troubling psychological detachment from the gravity of his crime.
What part of her body did you put in there first?
I think it was her head that went in first. Because, like, I opened the closet door, I didn't even know if there was going to be anything in there or not. And I think there was some stuff in the way, so I stopped and I moved it. And then,
What was in there?
the thing I remember most is just the sweeper going on there. And I think they were just, like, clothes and just whatever, something around.
So you moved all that stuff. And then you put her head in?
I think I put her head in first, I don't really know.
Did she have to manipulate her body, like kind of pick her up, like illustrate, just like kind of pick her up a little bit?
Yeah.
Pick her from the back to the front?
I went over the front, or like behind her shoulders.
Like kind of like a little carrier. Okay. And just kind of put her in that way.
And then everything from the closet you just put back in there on top of her?
And then closed her hand and just pulled them off. From there.
How'd you leave? Which way?
To the back door.
Did you close the closet door? Did you put that gator in front of the door?
Yeah.
there any adrenaline with that? No.
It was like adrenaline and shock at the same time. So like, 1 second I'm like, I don't know, adrenaline.
Let it go, and the next thing you know, it's like overload.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So what did you do with your gloves when you left?
I threw those away
Where at?
in the trash can.
At home.
The interrogation shifts to evidence at the scene, including gloves Gavin used. He admits to discarding them but appears uncertain if he left any other evidence behind, raising further suspicion.
I get it, that there's a whole piece of this that you don't understand why you do, okay? I understand the whole sexual piece that you don't understand. And I get that. Did the purple stuff have to do with the whole sexual piece that you don't understand why you do? No.
No, the purple stuff was the jelly. I don't even know where that came into play at.
When asked about the purple substance, Gavin seems confused and embarrassed. This ambiguity adds another layer of mystery to his behavior and motivations.
Is it a part you don't understand, or is it a part just embarrassing? In your own mind, you know, in your own mind. Because it's okay.
None of this is
Well,
okay.
I don't care, I'm saying we understand that it's an embarrassing part, you're not sure if we understand that part. You know what I mean? It's okay with it, we understand it that way.
Something I don't understand, I guess.
You didn't have any sex with it.
But you put the jelly on the glove. Is that when you used her hand?
Gavin admits to taking photos during the crime and experiencing a sudden wave of regret after the adrenaline subsided.
Yeah.
This moment highlights the stark contrast
Did you
between his
ejaculate?
heightened excitement and eventual guilt.
And is that the same time that you were taking some of those pictures?
Yeah, and after I took those pictures, I was like, what?
That's when the shock set in.
Yeah, like, what am I doing?
So it was adrenaline all the way up until then. And then that whole shock took over the overload. Is that right?
It sounds great. I don't know.
Back now. It's hard. Confusing. Did you go in the house initially just to steal something? Since you're out.
It just
Gavin describes his addiction to adrenaline and thrill-seeking as a drug that makes him feel alive. This admission reveals a disturbed psyche where risky behavior serves as an escape from inner turmoil.
That's your drug, adrenaline.
yeah, it's like, I don't know, I think it feels real to me. When I'm having adrenaline, it's like, alright.
You feel alive.
No,
Like there's meaning to you. Right?
I don't know about me, but
But you understand, like you feel like
yeah,
something.
it feels different. Like, I don't know how to explain that.
Any bad stuff inside you goes away.
Concluding his account, Gavin admits to living with pain and confusion, leaving viewers with a chilling impression of his complex and troubled mind. Gavin reflects on the adrenaline rush he experiences from risky behavior. His admission of enjoying the thrill of breaking into homes and cars reveals a dangerous pattern of impulsive and reckless decision-making. He explains that his intention was not theft or harm, but the excitement of sneaking in and getting away undetected. This highlights a distorted sense of gratification tied to risk-taking rather than the consequences of his actions.
Adrenaline being in somebody's house.
Yeah, I didn't even rob the house.
It was just the sneaky thrill of kind of get in somebody's house and get out and get away with it.
Yeah, but if the door was locked, I would have just walked away. I would have been like, I'm not going to try and go open a window or climb on the roof and go in. I would have just left, just like a car. The car's locked.
Did you try any other doors besides that?
Hmm.
You just were familiar with that house.
Gavin describes wandering through the neighborhood, checking cars, and stumbling upon a house that seemed abandoned. His casual tone as he recounts these events starkly contrasts with the seriousness of his eventual actions.
Because there's stuff out in front of it. So, then I just went.
Figured that out. See, because maybe didn't even know somebody was home.
Yeah, but I didn't think anybody was home.
Was it dark inside the house? No lights on or nothing?
None at all?
Well, no, there was a lamp that was on.
In the living room? Over in the corner by the chef? That one?
No, by, like, if you walk in from the kitchen, you're looking at the couch, it's on the right.
Okay.
I think.
When asked if the victim spoke during the incident, Gavin says it happened too quickly for much to be said. His vague and inconsistent recollection adds to the ambiguity surrounding his intentions and mindset at the time.
It happened.
Happened quick. And you didn't take her wallet. Nobody cares about the 60 or 80
Yeah,
bucks.
nobody cares about anything in it.
I did, but it's gone.
What do you throw in?
Trash also
Which trash?
at my house, but
Trash is already taken out.
He admits to walking home after the incident, smoking cigarettes, and trying to process what had just happened. This reveals a troubling detachment as he transitions from committing a crime to mundane behavior with little reflection.
So when you left her house, she was home?
yeah, I walked to my house and I smoked a couple cigarettes in that 2-minute walk. I don't know, I'm trying to process what just happened.
What were you doing before you made it to Margaret's house?
I just break into cars.
Gavin recounts his movements before entering the victim's home. He describes aimlessly wandering and considering entering a house, portraying his decision as impulsive rather than
I went down
premeditated.
towards, like, past the little car dealership.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't even get into any cars when I was over there. I was walking back. And I was thinking, like, what if I went into a house? And then I came up Broad Street, and I just went through a yard. And then I saw there was nobody there. Well, no cars. The garage looks like it wasn't open.
Did you look inside the garage?
I mean, before I went up onto the porch,
Yeah.
I opened the garage door, and it was just piled up.
When asked if he recognized the victim's home, Gavin initially denies knowing whose house it was until he saw her. However, he recalls having done yard work for her years ago, suggesting a faint connection that might have influenced his choice.
Just going to, like, when I was 13 or 14, going to shovel traffic and stuff. You know, when I was actually doing something good.
And nobody was with you this night. And you've not told anybody about this.
No, nobody knows about this. I was never going to tell anybody.
What were you wearing that night? I mean, obviously it's carpentry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you find the boots and the carpentry you all wear just to keep your boots rolling because you're comfortable.
I don't even think I was wearing boots. I think I was wearing shoes because I knew I was out, going to cars.
Not in case you got to run. Like tennis shoes then?
Yeah.
What kind of shoes do you have?
Like Nike, ID, running shoes. They were just my gym shoes. My brother wears them now.
Gavin is asked about items he may have taken from cars or houses, but he denies having any stolen items at his home. His responses appear defensive, raising suspicion about the truthfulness of his
Is there
statements.
anything at your house that you've taken from any of these cars or anything that we could recover? You'll have like a GPS unit or sunglasses or anything like that?
No, I remember the GPS, but I didn't take that out.
Did Brandon take it home then? No?
Braden wasn't with me a lot of the times, like when I would go out. I don't know,
Well, like when you met up with the guy.
The conversation shifts to his encounter with another man in a car, where Gavin admits to going through the man's belongings and searching for money. His behavior continues to highlight a pattern of reckless and opportunistic actions.
And then I had my house keys, cigarettes,
Phone chargers, stuff like that?
yeah.
What did you do, like his phone, just keep that?
Yeah, but there wasn't a lot in it.
And the cash, just use that for whatever, like smokes and stuff?
I didn't get cash from it.
Oh, there was no cash in it?
Because the whole reason, like, I had a stone in there, and like I cracked the window, and he was outside the door, and I'm like, "Where's your wallet?" He's like, "I don't have it." And I'm like, "I don't believe you." So like I kept the doors locked, and I rolled the window up because his fingers done. Like I opened his glove box and went through stuff, but it wasn't in there.
Gavin recounts the confrontation with the man, describing the physical struggle and his eventual decision to leave the scene. His detailed explanation reflects a blend of fear, manipulation, and impulsivity.
And I came down the parking lot, and I turned left into there, and he came over there, and that's whenever he grabbed the window and tried to like pull it and break it, and then I went forward, like I turned and went up towards the doctor. I threw his phone, and then I looked back, and I couldn't see him, so I got out of the car.
Yeah, he walked away then. We did a couple donuts.
I don't know, I wanted to see.
No, I understand. And the key is soul, you know what I mean?
And there was some physical stuff that went on between the two of you in the car, right?
I mean, we understand no about the actual stuff.
Yeah.
First time.
I mean, officially, I guess.
Yeah.
The stuff happened when I was younger.
Gavin opens up about his confusion regarding past events and feelings, admitting to uncertainties about his motivations. This moment provides insight into the inner turmoil driving his actions.
Maybe excitement of that.
Yeah, no, that's kind of freaked out a little bit.
There's a lot of time to stop.
What freaked you out? Your reaction to it or him?
I don't know, just once I realized I was in the back of the car with some guy, doing that,
And you remember the movie bandana, right? And she was the queen of
yeah,
that when you realized that was just crazy.
yeah, and I didn't want to live it anymore.
He shares feelings of confusion and shame about his behavior, acknowledging how it conflicts with his own sense of morality.
A little bit.
This rare moment of self-awareness contrasts with his earlier detachment.
I guess.
Okay. You're not the only person ever to not be sure, so.
Or being a teenager, so it goes on.
Does anybody else know about that? Are you worried about what your family would think?
I mean, is that what part of the confusion was on stuff with Margaret too? Just the internal confusion?
Yeah.
Sexual stuff and people battle that all the time.
Kevin, is there anything else that we need to know about?
No, now you got it.
We just want to put it all on the table and deal with it all now to get you the help you need, okay?
It's something else.
Yeah, I knew I was driving, so I didn't.
When asked if he intentionally targeted Margaret, Gavin denies it, claiming his actions were unplanned. His frustration and regret are evident, though his lack of clarity leaves questions about his true intent.
Or was it just the shot?
The shot.
You said you started doing it, and by the time you realized that she had died, it was too late.
Nothing I could do.
Is that why you punched the wall at the school? Was that main frustration? I think that comes out of your hand, you don't say it hurts.
Sorry. I think I broke my hand or my pinky. I didn't even care. I was just mad because I finished my test in math, and then I saw a text from Braden that said the contest I saw. I'm like, great. And then Miss Firestone rings.
Gavin revisits his involvement in breaking into the church with his friend. His recollection of setting off alarms and fleeing reflects his ongoing recklessness and inability to anticipate the consequences
You
of his
set off the alarm
actions.
clock messing with the windows?
Yeah. Like,
Were you going to go into the church before the alarm went off?
I don't really know what we were going to do at the church. I didn't even hear the alarms go off. Braden did. He's like, dude, the alarm's going off. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I listened and like, we should probably go. And we did.
Did you feel weird going out and given some cars are trying to break that place, knowing what you've already been through in Margaret's house? That seems strange. Or just kind of like the thought of past the line. Because it's over, you can't change it.
As the interrogation wraps up, Gavin's narrative remains inconsistent. His repeated emphasis on seeking adrenaline suggests an underlying need for excitement that overrides his judgment, painting a complex and troubling psychological portrait. Gavin discusses the adrenaline he feels during risky behavior, comparing breaking into cars with entering a house. His excitement over the risk factor underscores a deeper psychological need for thrill-seeking.
It's like, if I'm going to go out, someone's going to come outside. So it's like, there's that risk. And then, I don't know, the whole breaking into the house, that was the adrenaline part. I think
He admits to losing touch with reality during the house break-in, highlighting a moment of disconnection from his actions. This detachment raises questions about his mental state and ability to control his impulses.
Now we've asked you 76 times over at once.
What do you think's even going to happen with me?
I think you're going to go to juvenile detention.
The detective shifts focus to Gavin's relationship with his mother, emphasizing her love and concern for him. This compassionate approach seems designed to elicit more emotional responses and a sense of accountability.
And she needs you to be here.
But that's what I'm most upset about.
But I want you to remember that. I don't want you to forget that, okay? You can't.
I don't think it's the only thing that's kept me going. My mom.
She seems like a pretty fantastic lady.
She is.
And she loves you more than anything, so if anybody can get you through this and get you what you need to fix whatever's going on with you, it's your mom.
That's it. I don't know if this can be fixed. And because it doesn't feel like it's some regular emotion. It just feels like it's natural, and I don't want it to be. I don't.
Anything can be fixed. Yeah.
I wasn't close to it when I told you were a nice kid. You know, you seem like a super nice kid. There's got to be something that, you know, that's making all this happen for you, right?
Probably. I don't know what.
So you're kind of fixing it now, don't you think?
No, it's made it a whole lot worse.
Gavin acknowledges his mother's unconditional love as a major factor preventing him from harming himself. His admission reveals both guilt and a fragile emotional state, as he places his survival more on her well-being than his own.
Yeah, you get to heal.
You ever told your counselor about any of the thoughts that you have?
I did a lot. And she didn't. She started with trying to treat the depression first. And it wasn't working for a little bit. I still tried to kill myself, but I didn't.
Because you know it's not right.
No, I don't care what happens to me. Like, honestly, I don't.
The detective gently encourages Gavin to confront his struggles and seek help, framing this as an opportunity for healing. Gavin's response shows a mix of resignation and a faint hope for improvement, though his tone remains subdued.
Yeah, I don't care about me. I don't.
People care about you.
Other people might have decided.
It's because you're dealing with so much. That's why you don't. But deep down, you still do. Because people truly don't anymore. They even want to.
Gavin reveals past struggles with depression and a failed suicide attempt. He candidly admits to not caring about himself, but acknowledges the devastating impact his actions could have on his mother, showcasing a complex mix of apathy and empathy. Reflecting on a reckless driving incident, Gavin describes accepting the inevitability of danger without fear. This anecdote highlights his risky behavior and a troubling indifference to consequences, both for himself and others.
And we were at Silver Creek, and it was like kind of rainy and everything. And like when we were coming down this hill, there's like a big turn you have to take. And I'm like just joking, like, dude, take it like 70 or something. He's like, oh, I will on the way back. I'm like, yeah, sure, like whatever. And then on the way back, he's like, oh, screw it. And I'm like, oh, cool, like doing that. Like, I didn't really care, because if he was only going like 40.
He describes the thrill of adrenaline-fueled actions as a way to feel alive, contrasting it with the emotional weight he carries daily. Gavin's craving for this sensation sheds light on his motivation for engaging in dangerous behavior.
Like, went up over the sidewalk and like in the air, and then spun like down a big hill. And we were pretty sure the car was going to roll and we were going to die. We didn't like overreact. Like whenever we heard the tires squeal, whenever like the car started to turn, we looked at each other and like all that happened. We were like, well, that was cool. Because there's nothing you could do with tires because there's no way to stop it. So you had to accept whatever happened. Yeah, but I wasn't scared. Like I was accepting whatever happened. I wasn't scared if I was going to die, or if I was going to crash, and like break my back and be paralyzed. It didn't really matter to me. Maybe because you're carrying a lot on your back. But this was before that. No, I mean even things before that.
Gavin ties his depression to a significant event in 2013, hinting at unresolved trauma. He acknowledges that attempts to cope, whether through adrenaline or substances, offer only temporary relief, further deepening his emotional struggles.
Okay, after that, I put a crack somewhere and you can't use adrenaline trying to fill it. And it's not working. It does this immediate, but it doesn't long-term fill it. No, and then it stopped being that immediate for like that quick fix. It was, it just didn't work anymore. You need something more long-term.
When asked if he was under the influence during the night of the crime, Gavin denies it, stating he was sober. He contrasts this with his typical reliance on substances to escape his dark thoughts, revealing his struggle to manage sobriety.
I can't handle myself when I'm sober. Or I can't, like, comprehend. I don't even know the word to use. My thoughts when I'm sober are dark. When I'm high, they're, like, good thoughts.
Had you ever thought about harming anybody before, or?
Gavin admits to wondering about the act of killing, but insists it was never premeditated. His musings reflect a curiosity driven by the search for adrenaline rather than malice, adding complexity to his psychological profile.
Like, I don't know, like some stuff you think about yourself in that situation, like, yeah, I can see that. And then, like, I think about a car crash or something, me dying in a car crash, you're like, yeah, I see that. Something else that doesn't necessarily involve me dying, or even like me being injured. Like, yeah, But I think about me killing someone. I'm like, I can't see that. I can't.
Never thought that I ever wonder what it would feel like. That would feel that adrenaline crack that you're trying to feel.
I mean, I've wondered what killing somebody would feel like, but I've also wondered what jumping off a building would feel like, what driving my car 10 miles an hour speed limit would feel like.
Yeah.
So it's not like anything about this is premeditated.
Nothing extraordinary.
I think we're gonna have to.
The detective begins wrapping up the session, reiterating the importance of accountability and ensuring no critical details are omitted. Gavin's responses remain cooperative, though his tone conveys fatigue and resignation.
Is there anything that you're leaving out, or just, right, I mean, I don't leave here that way.
We don't want to yell about.
I mean, if you're taking it, like she said, is there anything at your house or anywhere that you're taking from anywhere that we can go get it back to where it belongs to, or?
Gavin reviews items he might have taken during his crimes, confirming minimal theft. His focus on specific details suggests a mix of cooperation and an attempt to minimize the gravity of his actions.
Margaret?
Yeah.
Where was that at? We grabbed that.
I think that was on the little thing by the China stuff too.
Oh.
Came by the cell phone thing.
Okay. And then the other thing you really took from the guy's car was whatever little bit of money he had left.
Yeah.
Nothing else. No wallet, nothing in there. And the car was just what? Did you get anything like change or
I think it's changed, but
no electronics, no not good?
besides the GPS, but that's gone. I threw it
Did you? Where did you throw that at?
on the road.
Okay. We have one for the church.
Yeah, I guess so. You alright? Very tired now?
When asked if he regrets his actions, Gavin expresses remorse. However, his claim that he felt sorry even before getting caught invites scrutiny, as it contrasts with his earlier descriptions of detachment during the crimes.
All of this.
Were you sorry about all of this before you got caught?
Yeah, like I
Gavin admits to feeling guilty about his actions, but also shares that he struggles to express his emotions clearly. This conflict between regret and an inability to show emotions makes his statements appear insincere, adding to the tension.
like something about my mom. You know, I cry or whatever. Like, okay, being honest. But if I say, like, I'm sorry for what I did, like with Margaret, and I don't have any emotion to it, it sounds like I'm lying and I don't really care. But that's not it. I just,
When asked what he would say if Margaret were still alive, Gavin responds that he would apologize and wish the incident had never happened. While his words convey remorse, the lack of emotional depth in his tone makes the apology seem hollow.
if I could take it back, I would.
Make sure you take advantage of whatever counseling.
The investigator emphasizes the importance of Gavin engaging in therapy and cooperating to receive help. This encouragement highlights the severity of Gavin's struggles and the urgent need for
I know
intervention.
you've been going, but I don't want you to give up on that. I want you to do what you need to do. I think you'll probably end up having to stay here for a little bit while we get some paperwork done, and then we'll get you up to a juvenile detention center. It's required that you're handcuffed behind your back when we go into juvenile detention center.
That's fine.
So,
Gavin expresses anxiety about being sent to a detention center, mentioning stories of violence he has heard about such places. This fear reflects Gavin's awareness of the consequences of his actions and the harsh environment he might face.
I don't think it's quite as bad, but I think they're fairly strict.
Well, I'm saying, like, I'm gonna do, like, what I'm supposed to do when I'm in there. I'm saying DYS. If you don't,
Who you're housed with, is that what you're concerned with?
yeah, like DYS, people get the crap beaten out of them while they sleep. Like, I don't want to deal with that.
Do you know anybody that's been to DYS?
Yeah, I know. Darren Matheny. You know, I've been told that if I go to TYS, first thing I want to do is get into a fight and join a gang. Because that's the only way that anything's going to work out for me, DYS.
I don't think that's the best advice. You probably.
The investigator confirms details about the boots Gavin wore on the night of the incident, using photographic evidence to ensure accuracy. This underscores the police's reliance on physical evidence to corroborate Gavin's statements.
In Margaret's house, I'll be honest, I know you had those boots on. Okay?
I did have his boots on.
Yeah, you did, because you took a picture, and your boots were right there.
Oh.
Yeah, they're those same boots. But I know you said tennis shoes, I wasn't sure, I just double checked.
I really didn't think of it.
And I understand, it's a whole lot going on inside your environment. So I just want to make sure it's not so much as just saying, I'm just letting you know, it's confirmation, so we're all just truthful. So we walk right here the same thing, okay? Or anything like that. So he's calling for road rag, come up here. Officer Kujna snapped just a couple of photos of his hand, just some marks to show.
You don't have any marks from struggling with Margaret?
That kind of little thing right there, I think it was figured out. But that's the only thing.
Put your hands up here like that.
When discussing the bag he carried, Gavin is unsure whether he took it into the house. This ambiguity might indicate either an attempt to withhold details or a genuine lapse in memory due to the stress of the situation.
Okay. So just that little red spot up there.
That little thing.
Were you bleeding?
Hmm.
Just scratched on the surface. Did you have your bag with you when you went in there? You usually carry your bag, I would assume, to take stuff in.
Yeah, I mean, I know I have my bag with me. I don't know if I left it inside or if I just left it Or like if I took it inside and left it outside. In case I had to burn or something.
Gotcha.
Like, like not run away, but run from the house.
When she woke up. She wouldn't have caught you.
Gavin confirms that he wore gloves the entire time he was in the house and only removed them once outside. This could be interpreted as an intentional effort to avoid leaving traces, showing his awareness of his actions.
Yeah.
Even when you moved her over in the closet? You took them off when you got outside.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
The investigator photographs scratches on Gavin's hands, allegedly caused by Margaret. This further solidifies evidence of a struggle between Gavin and the victim, heightening the tension during the interrogation.
Just like that. Just, you know, on the ground or...
Yeah, if you want, yeah, if you can. Now, if you do like you just did,
Like this.
and actually I'll have you turn them up just like that. Perfect. I'll work for just a little bit. Just like you are. Now let me just...
Why don't you show them where Margaret scratched you?
That little one right there.
Okay. You want to see this again?
You said the redness there is from the handcuffs.
Yes, understand. I'll do this right there.
He punched the wall at school for that big one on his knuckle there on his right hand.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can you stand up for me, or just sit in the chair? Just for a second. Okay.
Gavin shares his fear about how his parents, especially his father, might react upon learning the truth. His concern that his father could lose control highlights the complex family dynamics and his feelings of helplessness in the situation.
I think if my dad sees me, he's gonna go to friggin' jail because
The investigator reminds Gavin that, as a parent, he might one day understand the love and worry his parents have for him. This advice aims to plant a seed of hope that Gavin can learn from his mistakes and change his future.
2 months. I was gonna affect him. It's just gonna ruin that for him.
Unfortunately, it's going to affect everybody.
Yeah, I know. It will. It's gonna ruin our family name.
He mentions a coworker whom he believes exhibits similar psychological instability. This appears to be Gavin's attempt to connect his behavior to someone else or justify his actions by finding similarities with others.
Mine works just like yours.
The only person I've met that I even think is slightly the same as me is this one.
The investigator encourages Gavin to reflect on the origins of his dark thoughts and feelings, hoping that self-awareness might help him prevent future harmful behavior. However, Gavin seems skeptical about his ability to change.
Like when he thinks nobody's watching, he talks to himself and he cusses to himself, like at himself and at everybody. I don't know. He's got a different look in his eyes than everybody else.
But if you can figure out what's going on with you, you might be helping one of your little brothers down the road. I don't imagine you always had thoughts like this and always felt like this. There had to be at some point in time where it got to be this way. So if you figure yourself out, saves one of your little brothers some heartache, I truly believe that there's a reason that everything transpires. There's a reason for everything.
Gavin reveals that he finds no meaning in inspirational stories or quotes, emphasizing a deep sense of hopelessness. His inability to see value in positive change adds to the gravity of his psychological state.
I don't feel any of that at all. I don't, like when people go on like these quotes that like save their lives and like it's just words put together. Nothing has like real meaning.
Maybe because you're not there yet. You haven't found that place yet.
I'll be honest, this Saturday, like,
Gavin admits he had planned to run away. However, the thought of never seeing his family again caused him to hesitate. This internal conflict shows that while he feels guilt, he also struggles between avoidance and attachment to his family.
and I knew my insurance doubled, so I had like no money. I just needed gas money to get somewhere, and I didn't care what happened. I don't know, I think I was headed down towards like Tennessee, and keep going down through there.
He acknowledges that if he ran away, he would never have the chance to face his actions. This suggests that despite his guilt, Gavin wrestled with making the right decision.
I don't know, I kept having that thought every time I felt like I was ready to actually leave. I'm like, well, I literally can't ever talk to my family again if I leave.
The investigator bluntly states that Gavin's arrest prevented him from harming others. Gavin seems to agree, admitting that without intervention, he might have continued causing harm.
I don't know, I had a pretty clear picture of what the next year looked like if I ran.
Unfortunately, I think he would have hurt more people. Was that in your plan?
I mean, that wasn't in my plan, but I could see that happening. But all I could see was me dead if I ran.
Well,
Margaret's cause of death is confirmed as strangulation.
it sucked.
The police chief's statement that this was the most horrific crime he had seen in 28 years underscores the case's severity. Gavin's life sentence without parole reflects the danger he poses to society. However, a change in legislation in 2021 offers the possibility of parole after 25 years. This provides a glimmer of hope, but no guarantee of release.
Yeah, can I use the restroom?
Yeah, we'll get you. I'll let you take you out. Okay. Any more of that?
For the sweetness.
Did you get fun? Did you get enough fun?
The video concludes with a reminder that Gavin is currently serving his sentence, and a note to viewers that the channel will continue covering similar cases.